Hello, hello. I hope that you guys are as excited as I am to be going into the spring. Oh my goodness, I can't believe we made it through another winter. Listen, we are going to have such a great 2025. The summer, I can see it. So many people are coming to me and they're getting so much help that I'm even amazed. I'm even amazed at what the channel is doing to change lives. And that makes me super excited, super excited. So I wanted to come on today and we're going to go over a scenario of someone that I worked with earlier that was just in the wrong tools. And I'm going to show you in a schedule today what it looks like when you're doing these chunks that we talk about making into your principal amounts. What is the difference? What is it doing when you make these chunks into your principal amounts on your loans? We do lines of credit, not loans, right? Oh my goodness. Listen, it is so super exciting when you learn how to use your money. You lose the stress. And I know some of you guys are really stressed out because I've been there and I know what it feels like to be suffocating in debt. It's overwhelming. And I'm here to say it's not your fault. It's not your fault. I know that that seems vague and that seems like, oh, you're just trying to be nice. I'm not. I'm not, because you are following every rule that was taught to you all the way up from childhood as to how you are to live your life financially. And so, if you've been a student in school, then you need to get a student loan. You need to get a student loan so that you can pay for your school, because it's going to make you so much money when you graduate and you're going to get this great job and you're going to be able to change your life. And no, what? That is a lie. That's a lie. First, you don't have to get a student loan. And do you know how many people I have in my immediate family who have a college degree that has not yet touched the degree when it comes to what they actually do for employment? Guys, we've got to adult and we've got to stop doing everything we're told. I know I almost sound rebellious, don't I? I'm almost a rebel. The thing is that we were taught to go to school so we can get the big degree. So, oh, and listen, it used to be that you had to get a bachelor's, and now you need a master's. And I don't even know where it's going to go from here. But I know so many people with masters that are not making maybe $10,000 more a year than they did with their bachelor, and they're not even crossing the $50,000, $60,000 a year in income. Come on, people. We've got to stop being a bunch of sheep just following what everybody tells us to do. We need to get alive and get real and realize that you have an imagination, you have a passion that you need to go chase for you, and stop letting the society here tell us what we're supposed to be doing with our money. How's the second way that they get us? Well, you want to own a home. I mean, everybody wants a home. So you have to get a mortgage to buy a home. I mean, common sense, Christy. You have to go get a mortgage. Do you? Do you? Okay. You want a car, right? Well, you got to go get a car loan. There's no choice. I don't have $25,000, $30,000 sitting in the bank that I'm going to be able just to go chunk onto a car and buy it. Do you? I'll bet money that most of you people out there watching right now are saying, I wish I had 25 or 30,000 in the bank. We all do. It's not your fault. How do you tell if it's simple interest you're being charged? If it's in a revolving line of credit, in a credit card, it's simple interest. If it's a loan and it's on an amortization schedule, meaning you have the same exact payment due every single month, then guess what? Yeah, you're setting in a schedule. So, guys, you've got to get educated. That's all this channel is about. is helping you to get educated and what options are out there. And you know what? You can get all tore up and be like, "Oh no, you need to go to the Dave Ramsey channel. He's telling you the right things to do." Well, hey, wear it out. I'm not going to be mad at you if you go to the Dave Ramsey channel. I want you to go get out of debt, whatever that means for you. Whatever option you can do to get out of debt, then please go do it, okay? I'm not mad at you. I'm trying to give you options besides what he gives with selling your dog, your couch, your car, getting the second job, delivering pizzas, eating beans and rice. I'm trying to give you real options outside of that. Okay. In 1960, that worked. Getting a second job, well, yeah, okay. Sure, let's go get a second job and work ourselves to death. And guess what? By the time we're 62 and we're broken down and our children are grown and we didn't even get to see them because we were in the second and third job, that's all great and dandy. But what the heck did you do while you were on earth? Because it wasn't a value. It wasn't a value. I mean, who wants to live their whole life, get to 60, 70 years old, and then say, whoo, glad I worked all of that time to get rid of that debt. Oh, now I can die in peace. What? What? Is that the life you want to live? You don't want to see your kids until they're 35 because you've been working two jobs, and now guess what? They're working two jobs and they don't want to see you. Awesome, Granny. Congratulations. Congratulations. Oh my gosh. You're very welcome. Yay, Glayla. Nice. I love the IBC. I'm still working on it, guys. I have not forgotten about you when it comes to that. I love the IBC, the infinite banking concept. If you're wondering what that is, I'm going to tell you that there is nothing like that. But first, I want to talk about a mortgage calculator. So I am going to try to share my screen with you. And let's just see if I know what I'm doing here. So I'm going to hit share, maybe. Am I going to hit share? Where am I? Oh my gosh. Okay. Let's see if this works. I don't know if this will work or not, but let's see if this will work. Okay. So we are going to be looking here at an amortization schedule. So when I talk about the amortization schedule, this is what I'm referring to. So I'm going to put in a lady's mortgage that we were working with earlier, and they had, it was about 465,000. I am just using big numbers here. So 465,000, the principal amount, and guess what? They are at 7%. Yeah, I know, right? For 10 years. Let's knock this out and calculate. Okay. So if you have a 406, let's just change it to 450 because that is the average American home right now. So let's just see what this looks like. Because when I do the low loans, like I'll say, okay, yeah, you know, you can get a $200,000 home, and if you're at 3%, 6%, whatever, people will write me or my comments, and they'll say, who can get a home right now for 200,000? And that's the truth, right? Things are expensive right now. So I'm putting in 450,000 just because that's the average right now. And the average interest rate right now appears to be about 7%. So you're talking about a payment amount of $2,993.86, okay, for 30 years. All right. So let's go on down here and let's look. How much are you? Oh my gosh. Do you see the total repaid here? $1,077,793. How much did you borrow? 450,000? So what does that mean your total interest paid is going to be? $627,793. Seems stressful, but I want to go over here on the right. Do you see down here where it says total interest paid as a percentage of principal? 139.510%. Wait a minute, I thought we got a 7% annual interest rate, but total interest 139.510%. That's 139, almost 140%. And the bank would probably go ahead and make that 140, right? So you got to think about what you're doing, people. You got to think. So when we're talking about doing chunks onto a line of credit, all right? I'm sorry, from a line of credit onto your mortgage principal. So look at what's happening here with payment number 1. And remember, your payments are $2,993.86 a month, right? How much of that is actually going towards that $450,000 that you borrowed? $368.86. How much of your payments going towards interest only? $2,625. Holy moly. So out of a $2,993 payment, $2,625 of that is going to interest only. Ouch. So let's look at that over a 12-month period. If you go down to month 12, you're going to see that you've actually paid in total principal $4,571.12. Wait a minute, haven't you been paying $29.93.86? Let's do the addition. $29.93.86 times 12. That's $35,926.32. So you're telling me after 12 months of making $35,926.32 in payments, you only have paid off $4,571.12 of your home? That balance? Well, what happened to the other $31,355.20 that you paid? It all flew away into the air and went bye-bye. Can you go back in there and say, hey, I paid you a total of $35,000 this year, but can I go ahead and get 20,000 of that back right now? What are they going to say? I don't think so. So what happens if you make these chunks onto your principal payments or on your principal amounts of your loans? What happens? Well, let's look at this just a second, because if you look up here, after your first payment, your principal balance is $449,631.14. That's because only $368.86 actually applied towards that $450,000 balance, right? So let's imagine that you take a $10,000 chunk from a line of credit, like I teach in every video, and you chunk it onto the principal amount of your loan. What happens? Okay. So 449 is your principal balance after the first payment. So 10,000 from 449,000 is 339. So let's go down the schedule. And let's go to 439, not 300. 439,626 in month 26. Does everybody see this? Right? How many months did that skip? Can we say it together? 26 months is where you're at by making a one $10,000 chunk onto your principal amount. Okay, so if you skip 26 to the 26th month on the schedule, then how much interest did you save when you applied the $10,000 chunk to your principal amount on your mortgage loan? Well, let's look. The 26th month, it's showing that $67,516.97 would have been the amount that you paid had you been making these whole 26 payments throughout the 26 months. But because you chunked onto your principal here, brought it from 450 down to 440. We said 439 because we're showing after the first month was made. So when you go to the 440, 439, which would be your 25th, 26th month, you're saving the $67,000 approximately that you would have paid out had you just continued to make monthly payments. So let's see, if that's 26 months in advance, then you've skipped 2 years plus on your mortgage. So if you had a 30-year, now all of a sudden you're at 28 years. Is that insane that one $10,000 chunk can do that? So now I know you're saying, okay, you still have to be making monthly payments. You absolutely do. You still have to make your monthly mortgage payment until it pays off, or they will come and take your home. So if you're making these $10,000 chunks, which is knocking years off of your original payoff date, which is 30 years, right? Why wouldn't you do that? Well, I know some of you are saying, well, you still have to pay the interest on that $10,000. You still have to pay the interest because you borrowed $10,000 from a revolving line of credit to put onto your mortgage. So, Christy, you may save $67,000 in interest from doing that one $10,000 chunk. But how much interest did you have to pay with the line? Well, let's go ahead and talk about that too. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen and I'm going to get back over here and I'm going to see what you guys are saying. Gosh, interests don't even matter with that type of, you know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Yay. Hey, Wendy. Hello, hello. Okay, so we are going to look at the $10,000 line of credit and what that means. And hey, guys, don't forget Saturday at noon. Yes, this Saturday. Wait, that's tomorrow. Oh my gosh, tomorrow at noon. Join us for the webinar where we're going to be talking about the Texas conference that's coming up in November. I'm super excited about that. Oh my gosh. We're going to be in San Antonio, November the 13th through the 15th this year. I hope you can join us. The webinar is tomorrow. I was going to give you some more information. You know what? I just can't wait. I can't wait because I've never been to Texas, so I'm pretty excited about it. Back to the line of credit. So $10,000 on a line of credit, and we are going to act like this is so expensive. So we're going to do it double of what the 7% interest rate was on the mortgage. Okay, so we're going to take this to 14%. So this is a 14% revolving line of credit. Doesn't matter if it's a personal line. It doesn't matter if it's a HELOC, a home equity line. However, 10,000 is coming out of a line of credit at 14%. So you're going to take 10,000 times 14%. Get your calculator out and do it with me because I want you all to be educated on what you can do here when it comes to getting out of debt. So 10,000 times 14% equals $1,400. But Christy, that's $1,400 that you're going to be paying in interest on this 10,000 line for the whole year. So this is for the year. Let's divide that by 12. Now what are we paying in interest per month? About $116.66. How much interest did you save on that mortgage by doing the $10,000 chunk? Was it almost like around $67,000? And that was 26 months. So let's just act like that we leave it sitting at the $10,000 balance for the next 26 months. How much interest are you going to pay on this line of credit at 14% interest? Okay, 116 times 26, $3,033.16. Total interest, and this was for 26 months on a 14%, $3,033 at 26 months. For 26 months, how much did you pay in that mortgage in interest for 26 months? It was $67,000, right? Okay, to me, it's a no-brainer. I'm sure I have a naysayer out here right now that's saying, but, why don't you just make your payments and stop being stupid? Why don't you just keep making your payments and stop trying to do all this mumbo jumbo? Why don't you wake up and start acting like an adult and start using your money to serve you instead of the bank? Now, with Velocity Banking, you wouldn't take a $10,000 chunk and just throw it onto your mortgage principal and then forget about it and then sit here and pay interest. We wouldn't do that. Haven't done that yet and not about to start. So what would you do with this line of credit? When you need to do the chunk on your principal on that loan, now you've got this revolving line of credit. Now, let's say that you make $3,000 a month. Do we have hands up of how many in this room right now make $3,000 a month? Money says most of you are making $5,000 a month because that's the national average for a household income. In my area, it's about $3,000 a month. So that's why I'm going to use 3,000. So if you put $3,000 into this line of credit for your income in month one, what's happening to the balance on this account? Somebody's screaming right now, but wait a minute, you have your mortgage payment and now you have a payment on a line of credit. Who said that inside of your head? I know you're out there. But when your income goes into the line, you have satisfied any payment that you may have here. So at the 14% interest, if you remember the calculations that we just did, you're going to be paying about $116.16 or something for your first month. Interest only. When your income goes in, and it doesn't matter if you're paid weekly, bi-weekly, bi-monthly, monthly, daily, whenever you get paid, it should go into this line. Then you're working down the balance and you're reducing the average daily balance. Okay, so the payment goes in, or your income goes in, you satisfy any payment that was due on this account. Now you're going to pay your expenses back out. So let's say this person has $2,500 in expenses, food, gas, rent, whatever, mortgage, whatever, $3,000 a month. you're going to do the best you can, right? Because that's not a lot of money for all of the inflation that's going on in the country right now. But I do have people doing it. So the expenses come back out, and then we're at 9,500. So one day you'll go to the grocery store and spend $100. The next day you'll go get gas in your car, 50. The next day your rent may be due $1,000. The point is that these expenses come slowly back out throughout the month, building this balance back up. And then the first month you are going to have that, let's say $117 in interest due. That will show on the statement. So you are at 96.17. Okay, are you with me so far? We're going into month 2. So 96.17 is your balance. Your $3,000 goes in again for income. Month 2, you're at 66.17. Your income went in, is satisfied any payment due again, right? Okay, so 66.17, you're going to pay $2,500 in expenses again throughout the month. So let's add this back in, 91.17. What's your interest going to be this month? Well, because your balance was lower, guess what? You're going to pay lower interest. So your high balance for your second month, and let me pull up my calculator here. Your high balance was 96.17. Is that right? So 3,000 in, 7, 25.95 interest. Okay. Work with me here because I don't like math at all, and I may make a mistake. So if you see a mistake, say, "Hey, you're making a mistake." Okay. So the high balance of 96.17, remember, you'll never pay interest on the high balance. You pay it on the average daily balance. So if your high is 96.17 and then your low for the month from where you put your income in is at 66.17, then the bank will average that amount. Then you'll be the interest will be calculated on the average daily balance. We good? We got this? Okay. All right. So 96.17, I'm going to take the high times 14% equals. So that would be, I'll write up here. So on the 96.17 times 14% is 1346.38. Remember, this is for the year. The year, divide that by 12 just so we can get an easy monthly amount. So divided by 12 equals $112.98. So let's imagine that you're going to pay $112.98 here. So let's add that back in for our interest. So 92.2998 approximately. I don't like using change. I always round it up. So then in month 3, we're going to do it again. $3,000 income in for month 3. 62.2998. All right. So you're going to keep running this out. Income in, expenses out throughout the month. And let's get an idea of how long we're going to be in this line of credit to pay off so that we have an idea what it's going to look like with your own line. So 440, 62.29. So you're going to have this paid off in around 17 months. So 17 months, you're going to have $10,000 paid off, which most of you guys out there go a whole lot faster. Some of you I work with, we're doing $10,000 chunks on principal every 3 to 4 months. Most of the time, people can do a $10,000 chunk onto any principal loan amount, right? Every 6 months. Okay, so you can do it. It all depends upon what your spending looks like, what your cash flow looks like. But this is going to average about $440 in cash flow a month, which means that they're going to pay off this 10,000 line in 17 months if they do nothing, income in, expenses out. That means that they saved $67,000 approximately in interest on their mortgage. While how much interest did they pay here on average? So if the high was 117, then on average, their interest for the whole 17 months would be about $995 in 17 months. So you're paying $1,000 of interest for saving almost $67,000 in interest on a mortgage at 7%. This line was at 14%. You have got to stop walking into a bank and letting them say, oh, no, you don't want that 14% interest. No. You would want to take this one at 8%, this loan over here at 8%. When you get educated, you're going to know that that is complete bull, and you're going to just say no. Because the point is, you are going to now know what the differences in the interest is on, depending upon the product that you're using, the tool that you're using for debt elimination. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with getting loans as long as you know how to pay them off. Okay? I don't want a loan, but I'm saying if you know how to pay them off, then guess what? You're going to be a winner. No matter how you look at it, you're going to be a winner. Okay? So let's see if we could look. Yeah, I know, right? Very good, Jared. You're following along great. Let's see. I just used the rate I'm currently at with my HELOC. Okay, good. I do have some first lien HELOC lenders that I prefer, that I use. Let's see. Yeah, I don't like math. I'm sorry. I'm not a math fan. What if we can't get approved on a HELOC? That is a very, very good question. There's some videos that talk about that, but my favorite is using the Money Max, because with the Money Max, it does it for you. It does the debt elimination completely, and you don't have to do anything but follow what it tells you to do. It doesn't matter what your credit score is. It doesn't matter if you even have a line of credit. So that to me is the number one way to get out of debt, is using the Money Max. I have the Money Max and I have the lines of credit galore, because I love the cushion that it brings with having the available credit if you need it. Okay. Is that because mortgages can't be paid off early or what? Okay, I have no idea what that means. Okay. Did another YouTube, did you watch the video? Because if not, go back and watch the replay, and it's going to answer every question that you just had in there. Okay. Let's see. What if you just make a prepayment like $550 a month? Would it be better? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Go get the amortization schedule, pull up your own mortgage calculator, watch how it works with doing these little 550. Is that not what Dave Ramsey says? Are you a Dave Ramsey fan that you would even say that? Because Dave says, just take your cash flow and throw it in there. Just throw your cash flow. Okay, what happens when you have an emergency? If you put your $500 cash flow into that mortgage payment and then something happens and you have a tire blowout and you have to buy a new tire, can you go back to the mortgage company and say, hey, I need that 500 back. I'm sorry, accidentally, blew a tire. I have to have $500. Can you give me that back? What are they going to say? No. So in the loan, it is not revolving. It's closed end, meaning that your money goes in and you cannot pull it back out until you refinance the whole dang thing. With this, if you get down here and you're like, hey, I need $200, guess what? Go to the bank, pull out $200. Even though you're putting your money in, you're able to pull it back out as you need it. That's what's so beautiful about the revolving line of credit. Okay. My question was referring to the HELOC versus a standard mortgage. I'm still learning about loans, unfortunately. I'm talking about the HELOC versus the mortgage. That's what this whole video has been about. So I don't think yes, mortgages can be paid off early. I've not even heard of a prepayment penalty here in the United States. I do hear about that a lot in Canada. But no, I mean, you absolutely are going to win using a line over a mortgage. Okay, let me see what you guys are saying. Seems like HELOCs have a no, I don't know where you guys are getting the prepayment stuff, because I'll hear that sometimes, and maybe back in, I think they had that in 1929 when they first started setting up the mortgage, there was prepayment penalties. But if you're in a mortgage that has a prepayment penalty in the United States, you are in a peculiar situation, because I don't even know of companies that do that anymore. So, you know what? Study the tools that you're using and that you're looking at. Make sure, okay? Make sure you know what you're doing. If you want to, let's talk about Money Max, as I'm getting a lot of questions about Money Max. I am going to put my contact in the chat, and you all can go straight there and ask me about the Money Max, and I can get you set up for a free webinar that we do. Okay. So let me put this in the chat so you guys can see it. So request Money Max free webinar link. We're going to have this on Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Central Time. Okay. So the link is in here in the chat. You all feel free to send me a request for the Money Max link, and I'll send you the link back so you can join us on Tuesday night. Okay. All right. I hope that you guys are, oh, good. I'm so glad. So we got somebody that says, thank you for introducing me to MMA. You saved me and my family. Beautiful. Beautiful. 6.5% sound good for a HELOC. Yes, that's really good right now. The average is between 8 and 9% on a HELOC. So yes. Depends on the bank you're using. Yes. Maybe some of them are doing promotional rates for like 6 months to a year. So if you're at a 6 or maybe even 5.99%, I saw yesterday, that's for the first 6 months. No, you don't want to lock in any rates. Mine are variable. I mean, you can lock yours in if you want to, but I like mine's in variable because, guys, when you're doing velocity banking correctly, you don't even care about the interest rate. If you're working with Money Max, you don't even care about the interest rate. Okay. The only thing that an interest rate is concerning, where it is concerning, is in a loan because you're stuck. You're in a schedule. If I could teach you all anything, you're in a schedule. Okay. So I am going to, again, I'm going to be having the webinar tomorrow about the Texas conference. And I'm trying to remember where the link is for that Texas conference. Let me see. And that way you can join it if you want to learn more about what we're going to be doing with that. I'm not even sure I have the link available because I can't remember where I put it if I do. But contact me for sure if you're wanting to learn more about the Money Max, because we certainly can get you in to a webinar talking about that. I'm trying to think if I even need to I can put the link underneath the video for the webinar. So if you're all interested in the Texas conference and you're wanting to learn more about how you can purchase tickets for that, we're going to be talking about that tomorrow. So I would love to see you guys in the webinar. If not, I totally get it. I believe they said we had over 400 already registered to attend. And that was kind of shocking. So 400 to attend the webinar. Okay, I'm not going to allow that many in Texas because we can only have so many. We're going to be on the Riverwalk, which that's super exciting. I've never been there. I've never been to San Antonio, so I'm super excited about going. My husband and I were going to take one of those 2 week, maybe 3 week trips out so that we're going to learn what the West is all about and how it was won. I'm so excited about that. I've never been there. My husband was raised in Texas, so he's pretty excited about going back there. How many Texans do we have in the room? Because I know that you all are my #1 clients. And isn't that amazing? Goodness. 28% interest on a line of credit. In a credit card, that's the norm. That's the norm. So don't be stressing out over the interest rates anyway. The credit cards, they are not bad. I mean, they're not bad if you know how to use them. If you're not being silly with them and you're using them like you're supposed to be using them, they're not bad at all. Okay, so let me see if I can get this pulled up for you guys so you can join that Texas conference webinar tomorrow. Oh my goodness, and I'm also going to start another 4-week masterclass. I feel like I'm all confused today. 4-week masterclass. Let me put the Texas webinar in here first so you can find that. And sign up if you would like to attend tomorrow at 12 noon Eastern time. Okay, so that's in there. And now, what was that? Oh, the 4-week masterclass is going to be starting April the 5th. Is that the dates I have on that? That's going to be going for 4 weeks, April 6th. I ought to do it on April 1st. We can do April Fool's Day. That would be hilarious. So I'm going to plan it for April. Yeah. So April 6th, 2025, starting the new master class. Okay, so what we learn in there is everything. It's 4 weeks. So we're going to be talking about everything from the velocity banking basics all the way to the Money Max. We have a speaker come in for that. We also have a speaker come in for the infinite banking concept. So we just really, really have a lot that we go over in that 4 weeks, and it's 2 times a week. So you can't make excuses if you don't know what Velocity banking is. Okay, so I think I'll jump off of here. I really wanted to come on and show you the difference between using the line and the loan. The line is my favorite because it's available when I need any money. If I need $5,000, I don't have to go get a loan. I've already got it. So I just transfer it into my checking account and now I have $5,000. Some of you guys have really high lines of credit. Like if you've got $1 million value on your home, you may have as much as $500,000 or $600,000 sitting there available in your equity just to write yourself a check when you're ready to buy another property. Even they can get really big. It gets really awesome when you learn how to use the lines of credit correctly. We don't go out just to get in more debt, so for goodness sake, don't go out just to buy ATVs and have fun. Let's get out of debt, and then you can have whatever it is that you're wanting because you know how to pay for it and you don't have to get a loan again. Okay. Let's see how to simply explain to spouse that making additional payments are not as beneficial as chunk payments from a HELOC. GV, go get you a mortgage loan calculator and show them. Show them the difference that you're saving in the interest by doing the chunk so that you're avoiding those, like I showed you, this 26 months, saving $67,000 in interest with that one $10,000 chunk. Then they can take the extra money that they were going to be putting into the loan and put it into the line so that it's available to use again. Okay, so let me explain that because everybody seems to have a really hard time with that. The point is that the mortgage or any loan, once it's on an amortization schedule, that means that you have a schedule and you're scheduled to make payments every single month in the same amount. So if it's $200, it's going to be $200 every month. If it's $2,000, it's going to be $2,000 every month until it pays off. That's what I'm talking about with a schedule. Like I just showed you in the amortization schedule on my screen, was that $10,000 chunk jumped this schedule to the 26th month, right? All right. So then the $10,000 line that they took out of a revolving line of credit is having the income go back in. So here in my example, 3,000 in income went in, right? Bringing the balance down, which is reducing the amount of interest that you're going to be paying throughout the month. Then your income being in here already, you can pay for your gas. You can pay for your food. You can pay for your Netflix. Okay. And then if you have the flat tire and you need 500, then you can pull the 500 out for your tire. The point is that if you're putting your cash flow into this loan, and let's say, like I just showed you, if you have a $450,000 loan and you apply $500 of cash flow, meaning cash flow is what you have left over at the end of the month after you pay all of your bills and all of your expenses, you cannot go in and ask them to pull that back out when you need it. If you need it, right? So if your cash flow is going into this loan, you cannot pull it back out like you did here. Just pull it back out and use it again. That to me makes all the difference in the world, especially when I was almost paycheck to paycheck. I didn't have any room to take $500, throw it into this loan, and then poof, it's gone. Oh, disappeared. But in here, I could breathe, because I knew that if I put every dime I had in here, I was going to be able to pull it back out as I needed it. Some of you guys, most of you guys are living like this. And when you're taking your cash flow, like Dave Ramsey says, let's go over here and throw it into, you got $50, go throw it into this big $450,000 mortgage. Really? Really? And what happens when you need $50? Well, I guess you're just going to suffer, or your children are going to do without, because you stuck it into a loan that you could have put it into the line to pull it back out and use it if you needed to. That's the major difference. Major. That was huge to me. So when I learned how to use the line of credit, money became easy all of a sudden. Oh my gosh. I'm so excited to share this stuff with you. I hope that it's really changing your mindset on how to use your money, because you're making money. You've just been told to put it in the wrong place. And once you learn how to put it in the right place to where it's serving you, the money problems appear to disappear. And I know that some of you guys need the stress to disappear, and thank the Lord for giving us this wisdom, because I know I had never heard of this before. And when I learned, I was amazed, completely amazed. I had no idea this was even an option out there. And it has given me a whole new, fresh start in my life so that I can get out of that paycheck to paycheck stress and into peace, to where now I'm able to fund my infinite banking concept and having exciting. Oh my gosh, the infinite banking concept is so exciting. It's so unbelievable. I am going to eventually get into showing you some videos about that as well, because you need to understand that. You need to know that you can build wealth very quickly and prepare for when you're gone. Make sure your children are prepared. It's awesome. Oh my gosh, I could sit here and talk all day long about how beautiful the concepts are that I teach, everything from velocity banking to money max to the IBC. What am I forgetting? I know I'm forgetting stuff, because there's options out there, people, you just weren't aware. And hopefully the channel is teaching you a few things, okay? Yes, thank the Lord. All my wife said, yeah, but what about the interest? Absolutely. My financial advisor said velocity banking is a bad idea. That's because your financial advisor is probably in debt up to his eyeballs and he wants you to stay there with him. Wow. I get so aggravated. Show me the math. Show me the math as to why doing your finances in the way we were taught with these loans is better than getting out of the debt with lines. There's nobody, you're not going to be able to convince me. The scam is the loans, and you have been fed this your entire life to where you can't think for yourself. You need to rethink what you're thinking about. You need to rethink what you're doing with your money. And once you realize, oh my gosh, this is crazy, eye-opening. There's not just a light at the end of the tunnel. It's blaring. Oh my gosh, I could have been doing this for the last 50 years. Some of you guys are my age and older, and you have been stuck in this hamster wheel. And it's so sad, because they've literally taken your hard earned money and thrown it away in these interest bearing loans that are just absolutely killing people. And I think it's sad. I think it's sad. And I just hope that you'll take a minute to think for yourself. And for goodness sake, if you walk into a bank and they say, "Oh no, you don't want that line. That's high interest. No, I want you need to take this 4% loan." Oh my gosh. Please, please think for yourself. Oh my gosh. Okay. So I'm going to jump off of here. I've been on rambling long enough, but I just wanted to give you guys some insight as to how that amortization schedule works, that you can pull it up. Pull it up yourself. For goodness sake, you're getting educated. Now study for yourself. Some of you guys are jumping right into this. I'm getting so many great testimonials about how quickly you're getting out of debt, especially with that money max. You're not going to beat that. But the point is you're getting out of debt quickly, and you're not spinning your wheels anymore, and you're excited to live again, and you're excited to go on vacation again. And I'm super excited for you. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Wendy. Thank you, Deborah. The point is that I want you all to find peace. Do not pay me or any guru to show you how to do this. You have videos. You have videos. Watch them. Educate yourself. For you guys that the light went on as soon as you saw a number one video, you are just like me. And guess what? You were ready. You were sick and tired of being sick and tired of being in debt and the struggle. And you said, you know what? I have got to find an answer. Maybe you prayed about it. Maybe a video popped up for you to watch. That was my experience. From what I hear from thousands of you, that's your experience, that you were praying about it, and lo and behold, the next day a video pops up in your feed. That's the way the Lord works with wisdom when you ask Him. So ask Him for wisdom. If you're not understanding what we're talking about in these videos, ask for wisdom and let Him open that up for you, because you have suffered long enough in the state you're in. You can come out of that, and you can make absolute debt elimination a 100% probability, and probably pretty quick. Do you know how many times I see a 30-year mortgage come down to 5, 6, 7 years? And you're like, that's not even real. I remember I used to say that. I used to, oh yeah, you can pay off your mortgage in 7 years. Yeah, you're stupid. No, no, you're not. You're not stupid. You just haven't been taught how that interest is applied in the mortgage and how most of your payment is going to mortgage. Look at your statement. Just like I showed you on that mortgage calculator just now, it was showing 7%, right? And everybody's like, oh, that's a high. That's a high interest right now. It is. But it's actually 139 to almost 140% interest, not 7. And don't say Christy said. Go get you an amortization schedule, put in the numbers and figure it out yourself. Okay? And if you do that schedule, you can decide for yourself what it's going to look like if you take a 5, 10, $20,000 chunk off of a line of credit and put it onto your own principal, and see how many years that knocks off for you as well. It's totally about you getting educated. That's all, okay? You just have to take time to do it. And sometimes we don't have time to do it, but I promise it is worth your time, okay? Thank you so much, GV. On a secured PLOC at 3% secured by savings, that's a good idea if you need to build your credit scores up. I have several people that have done that, and that works very well. My calendar is pretty full, so you can go to the contact form, and there's a place there where the same place where you would do for the Money Max webinar. You can do one-on-one with Christy there, and I'll have somebody send you out a link that's available for that one-on-one. You do not need it. You do not need a one-on-one consultation if you will sit down and look at your own numbers, run them, figure out what you need to do, and if you need a line of credit, if you can or can't get a line of credit, what's going to work for you, okay? And the Money Max webinar is coming up Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Central Time. You're going to love that. I will be there. I hope you can come. Don't forget tomorrow. Tomorrow we're having the Texas conference webinar, and I'm excited about that. Oh my gosh. Christopher says I paid off 16,000 in credit card debt with this method in under 18 months. Yay! Oh my gosh, you almost need an applause. Hold on a second. I think you need an applause. Here we go. Congratulations, Christopher. I know that there's many more of you out there that are winning with this. So I'm excited that you all are excited. Oh my gosh. Yes, balance transfers to 0% are awesome. That will definitely help you cut back the interest while you're working down your other debt. Yes, you have to do the math. Thank you, Jared. Thank the Lord. Oh my goodness. Okay, guys, I'm going to jump off of here. I hope you guys have a great weekend. Keep watching videos, get educated. It's going to change your life. You're going to be excited to get what? You know what? We are talking about doing the Money Max webinar on YouTube this Tuesday night. So I'm pretty sure we may do that. So hang on and be looking for that because that was a great question. We were just talking about that earlier. Is it on YouTube? Let me think. I don't know if I have any on YouTube right now or not, to be honest with you. Because usually we are letting you guys know that we're having the webinar. If you'll send me a contact form that I put in here, let me see. Am I going to do this again? See if it'll let me. Yeah. So, no, that's for the Texas webinar. Oh my goodness. This one's Texas. And this is tomorrow, Saturday at 12 noon Eastern time. Can you all tell I'm not tech savvy? Tech savvy? I'm not tech savvy. Oh my gosh. Okay. Been a long day already. Yes, Jared. Yes. Seek you first the kingdom and all these things will be added. Yes. Oh, that's a beautiful verse. Love that. I'm going to go get my contact. And if you want to write me about getting the webinar, okay, I'll be glad to have somebody send you that out as well. So contact me for Money Max information. And like I said, we're going to have the live, we may do that live webinar right here on YouTube. I've thought about doing that, and I think that's a good idea. So we may do that Tuesday night here. So you may just see all of a sudden a notification, and it says, oh my gosh, Christy's on, and she's on with Money Max. That's awesome. Okay. All right, guys. I hope you all have a great rest of your day and into the weekend. Leave any questions and comments below the video. I do try to answer them daily. There's a lot that come in, but I try to go in and let you guys know I'm reading. So you know what? It's just been a pleasure to serve. And the point is to get you all to financial peace. And that is what I am aiming to do. So have a good weekend.